Hey guys, Ellie and Megan here. Today, we bring to you another episode of Tuesday Talks. I got a really interesting question or an idea for a Tuesday Talk. A few weeks back, somebody said, Ellie, I would like to know 3 responsibilities that you feel like you're going to have as a husband. And so for that reason, I've included my beautiful fiance in my video today to talk about what I think are going to be the 3 biggest responsibilities that I will have as a soon-to-be husband. And you let me know how that sounds. Now, of course, there's the obvious things like keeping God at the center of your relationship, and being patient and loving and faithful. Those are the obvious ones. But I'm going to think kind of outside the box, kind of things that are unique to us. And the first really, really big thing that I think is super important for any relationship is taking an interest in your significant other's interests. I think that me and Megan have both been really good about that for each other. Some of my favorite video games Megan has wanted to try to play along with me, and there's one that she ended up falling in love with in particular, and we play together, and so she took an interest in my interest with that. And the other way around with the clay, I remember a few months before Christmas last year, Megan was talking about how her friends would make clay earrings at their apartment, and she was making the earrings with them one time, and she thought it was really fun. And she was like, man, I would love to make earrings like more often, but I just don't have the supplies and stuff, and it's really expensive, and it would take a lot of time and a lot of hard work. It just didn't seem plausible to her. See those ducks in the background?
I've been watching them.
Been watching them. And so it didn't seem plausible to her, but then I secretly was like, you know what? I'm going to get her a whole clay earring kit for Christmas. And so that's exactly what happened. I got her the clay earring stuff for Christmas. My mom helped me pick out some really, really good, durable clay. So thanks, Mom, for that. And Megan loved it so much. She was so grateful for it. And I'm not trying to toot my own horn here or anything, but clay isn't ordinarily something that I would do in my daily life. I'd more likely play Xbox or play football. I haven't always been a jewelry maker by any means. But then when Meg started making the clay, I would sit down and make it with her. And we ended up having a lot of fun together every time we make clay. We've made some really good pieces. And so I think those are some examples of how we've done really good about taking an interest in each other's interests. And we ended up, I'm not going to say we were...
Went wrong. Please try again.
What was that?
Siri.
Siri?
Okay, well.
Your Siri's a British guy.
Yeah, my Siri is a British guy.
But those are examples of how we took an interest in each other's interests and ended up having a lot of fun. Is there anything you would like to elaborate on that? Did I forget any examples? Does that sound good as the first of 3 hubby responsibilities?
Oh, hubby responsibilities. Well, I am wearing one of your creations.
Oh yeah, she is, guys. That's one of my strawberries that I made. She's wearing one of my creations. I think that means she likes it. Okay. Number 2 would be, this might seem kind of obvious, but I feel like for every relationship, it manifests itself in a different way. I think my number 2 big responsibility as a husband is going to be to always spoil her. You know, an example of how you spoiled me last night was I came home from being at the farm all day. My feet were dirty, and I just in general wasn't super clean. And I didn't want to take a shower because it had been a long day and I was really, really tired. And so the way that you spoiled me was by getting those little wipies and wiping my feet down when I was laying in the bed with my feet dangling off because they were like filthy, they were black. And so instead of nagging me, you go take a shower, don't get our bed dirty, instead of being like that, you wipe my feet down with Clorox wipies.
I did not wipe your feet down with Clorox wipes.
Whatever it was, I don't know.
That's how tired you were.
I don't remember what.
I just got a washcloth with some water. I joked with you. So you remember that correctly. I joked with you and I was like, oh, let me go get the Clorox wipes.
Oh,
clean. That's how nasty your feet are.
Oh.
No,
So,
I did not use Clorox wipes on his feet. That is not good for your skin.
okay.
Do not recommend.
The point is, though, is that was a really kind and loving gesture that she didn't have to do, but she did that for me. And so she spoiled me in that sense. And I guess kind of like with the clay, and then I remember she loves hummingbirds. She loves hummingbirds a lot. They're a very sentimental and symbolic animal for her. So our first Christmas that we got to spend together, I got her a hummingbird necklace. And I think that she was really surprised that I had even remembered that she loved hummingbirds, because she only mentioned it once on our first or second date, very vaguely, nothing much to it. But I remembered that, and I thought that it'd be really special, like right out the gate, because Christmas was a month after we started dating. Or no.
Christmas was when we started dating.
It was a month after we met, and so I thought that at the 1 month mark of us knowing each other, for me to get something so symbolic would show her that I really cared. And so
I didn't even mention like that I loved hummingbirds. I think we were talking about tattoos, because that's kind of like just something you talk about, because I obviously have one tattoo, and I was like, yeah, no, I'm gonna go get a hummingbird tattoo because they're symbolic, and I told him the whole story behind it, and so that was the only thing we had talked about.
Yeah, and so I think that it made her realize that this isn't just ordinary, like he really does care about me. And so little gestures like that, I think that is how I can continue to spoil her, to show her that my love for her never dwindles, or that the spark is, the honeymoon phase never has to end, so to speak. You know what I mean? And then the third, and maybe you could say out of all these, the most important responsibility that I think I'll have as a husband is whenever we have a conflict or a dilemma that faces us, instead of it being me against her, us against each other, it needs to be me and her as a tag team against the problem. Far too many times I've seen cases where people will yell at each other, get angry at each other because they're not doing this for them, or they won't stop doing this, or they have this bad habit. And so there's been times where I've had bad habits that I couldn't break. And so instead of Megan getting mad at me saying, you need to break this habit, you keep da-da-da-da-da-da, it's been more like she's got on my team, put herself in my shoes, and been like, okay, honey, what can we do to eliminate this problem so it doesn't bring us down anymore?
I've got a silly one.
Okay.
What's the most recent one? It's caused no arguments or anything, but it's something that I guess you could say I nag you about, but it's not even nagging. What's the most recent one?
Is it the water bottles?
No, it's not the water bottles, but that's another good one. This is one that just came up last Tuesday when we moved into our new home. You know this. Every time you walk through the house.
Oh, stomping. Yeah.
We're on the 3rd floor, and he stomps. And so every time he does it, I'm like, you're stomping. And I don't think he realized like how he needed to walk. And so I was like, you need to walk on the balls of your feet. And so he walked throughout the house walking on what he thought was the balls of his feet. And so he comes in and he goes, Bubs, when I walk on the balls of my feet, I'm louder. And I was like, what do you think the balls of your foot are? And he's like, my heel. And I was like, no, it's like the top of your foot. Like
right here,
there.
yeah.
I was like, that's what it is. And so like those are little things that I could constantly like nag you about, and that could be annoying and possibly cause conflict, but instead it was more like, okay, what can we do to, that's obviously very silly, but like,
but you're right.
What can we do to make this better, instead of me constantly being angry that when I'm in the bedroom I could hear you on the other side of the house walking? There's no point in getting upset about that when I could just remind you like, hey, use the balls of your feet.
Yeah. And then my feet are kind of deformed, if you can see.
You're showing your feet on camera. Oh, there's that.
Yeah, I mean, they're kind of deformed, so like they're not flat like most people's feet are, so it's a little bit harder for me to walk normal, I guess. That's my excuse for stomping so much, because I've always done it at my dad's house, at my mom's house, at any house. And so
my mom calls him elephant foot sometimes.
Elephant yeah, I am elephant foot. And so a way that you could look at it the other way around is that Megan, she gave me permission to say it, is that she deals with a little bit of social anxiety. I've talked about it maybe vaguely before, how she's not the most comfortable in large settings with a lot of people. And I'm not that way. I could be smothered by 10,000 people at a football game and I wouldn't feel even the tiniest bit claustrophobic or anything. And so that's a difference that we have. And so whenever Megan starts to get anxious or kind of get nervous, instead of me being like, oh, come on, suck it up, it's not a big deal, or like, come on, we're almost done, it's like, we're like a team, like, hey, it's okay, don't worry about it, it's not a big deal. We don't have to do this if you're not comfortable with it. And so I know these may sound like really silly things and really minor issues, but the same principle holds to no matter how minor or how serious something is. We always want it to, if there's something that I'm struggling with or something that she's struggling with, we want to be a team and take on that problem together and eradicate it, instead of oh, that's your problem. You need to figure out. If you don't figure it out, you're going to make me angry. Or if I have a problem, Megan's saying that if you don't get that together, you're going to really make me mad, sort of thing. No, not that at all.
Well, no,
And
because
so-
I think it's like, it genuinely hurts the other person when you're hurt or when I'm upset or struggling with anything. It genuinely hurts the other person, and like, we can't bear to see each other anything but happy. And so it's like, okay, if there is a problem, what can we do to fix this? Because there's no reason that we need to stay and continue to have this feeling. We need to have a good day. It's a constant work on positivity, but to continue to get to that place, you have to work together.
Exactly, yeah. I couldn't have said it better myself. And so, yeah, I think that right there would answer the question of probably the 3 biggest responsibilities that I'll have as a husband. Any last words, Bumps?
Have a great day.
All right, guys. Well, we hope y'all enjoyed. Y'all be sure to let me know in the comments what kind of stuff you want to see. Hope you all have an incredibly blessed day. And as I always say, your boy Ellie out. What happened?
Oh, you jerk! Oh!
What's going on? Yeah, I got bit by an ant earlier too. I didn't react quite like that. I don't think.
I'm just angry about it. It doesn't even hurt that much. I'm just angry about it.
She's just dramatic.
It hurt.
Your boy Ellie.